All right, we're recording. This is a Toshiba satellite C855D S5303 laptop that was given to me to take a look at by some family friends. And just because of the fact that they smoke, I'm going to be tearing this apart before I actually look at it or reload it, followed by doing a thorough drive diagnostic. That's, you can see the smoke residue in there. I'll probably also blast this thing with some alcohol to try and clean that up a little bit. So I'm just going to disassemble it down to its most basic parts. There again, if you look at the drive, that's pretty rough. So now we've got the drive out. We've got a Hitachi. Looks like it's probably 320 gig. Yep, 320 gig, 5400 RPM drive. So this is just getting up there. No date. We can easily decode on it. Date code J2100. So I'll try and look that up and add it to the video later. One stick RAM, 2 gig, 1R8 PC 312 800S 1110 ZZZ Samsung. So this is, I might be able to actually find some more of that because 2 gig for Windows 10 just isn't enough. Drive mostly intact. And out all of the case screws. Just gonna put these here. Should probably speed this part up. Thanks for the out. All right, now we're into this beast, and it is about as gnarly as I thought. So let's see if we can get a little better shot there. So I'm not standing in the light. You can see the nicotine in here. And nothing's going to clean that out, but Alcohol. But good grief. So most of this isn't too bad. Looks like over here, there was a coffee spill. Possibly. And you can tell the pet hair is completely trapped inside of this heat sink. I'm going to take it out, but I have a sneaking suspicion this is done for. Take a look at this. Ooh, yeah. I'm going to take it out, but I don't think this is going to be usable. This is... yeah, this is pretty old. It's neat. They have a power choke right here, which is just a ferrous magnet that keeps outside noise from getting into the system. I'm not too worried about taking the heatsink off because I've got thermal paste, and if I do put it back together, I will be repasting it because the stuff in here is probably pretty crusty and long past any good. This whole thing just needs to soak in the alcohol pretty much. There's my fan, which actually comes out of there. Oh man. Yeah, that's toast. I mean, it still works and I can clean it up, but no amount of alcohol in anything is going to make that run a whole lot longer. And no wonder it is so slow. Look at this. Oh my God. Take a look at the back of that heatsink. That is not foam. That is not carpet. That is hair and nicotine. And that is at least 1/4 of an inch thick all the way across. So there's no air getting through that at all. Get on the other side of it. That's a better view of it. That is completely sealed up. Underneath of it doesn't really look any better either. Underneath here, I've got pieces, parts. I'll probably take this out in the garage or out on the front step and blow it out for what I can get. And then go after it with some Q-tips and alcohol and try and get it. You can see there's residue built up here. There's residue built up around this piece of plastic here and going into the heat sink. There's probably God knows what underneath this. But it was theoretically running, just running really slow. So we'll see if I can get another 2 gig stick of RAM and some alcohol and clean this up. So I'm going to go blow this stuff out, stop this one, come back and do a time lapse of cleaning out the alcohol, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we got most of the crud cleaned off. We got all the thermal compound off of the CPU die here, and off of the heatsink. So now I'm going to put that back on, retighten it down, put the fan back in place, clean up the hard drive and a few of the case elements off screen with just a little bit of water, and then reassemble it and see just what we get. Now, just because I haven't worked with this stuff in a while, I'm going to, not this particular tube rather, but I just want to make sure there's not any little dried up plug at the end here, which there was, and just the barest little dot on there. That alcohol is pretty much done. That's just a little dab. That's all it needs. That's all it'll take, or it should take. We'll bake it in, make sure everything runs after we're done, make sure nothing overheats. And then I got that amount right. This is a small die. Shouldn't really need a whole lot on here. So these are not numbered on here. So I'm just going to do the opposing corners, and then we will go from there. Start each one a little bit, just to make sure it's got tension. This doesn't need to be super tight. And, you know, as I look, there are actually numbers on here. And these screws do actually bottom out, so pretty hard to screw that one up. All right, so if you looked at what was in here before, it was a pretty big, nasty mess. There's one in here as well. I took that out, peeled off the carpet of fur and whatnot, cleaned it all off with alcohol. I even poured some alcohol through the vents here after I blew all of the dust out of it, and just got what I could on the board that I thought could be affected. And now we'll cut to another little time lapse of me putting the whole thing back together, and we'll see if it starts up, and then I can run into my diagnostics. All right, so this is the wrap up for that Toshiba. It's about an 8-year-old satellite 855D, C855D, that was given to me by some family friends to take a look at. So after taking it apart here, which you've seen in the video, and cleaning it up, there is a lot of tar from 8 years of just smoke in the house and dust and everything else that's built up, and pet hair. So I cleaned that out, pulled it out, blew it out, took alcohol wipes to just about everything inside and Q-tips and cleaned that out, repasted the paste in there, which was pretty much solid, to the CPU. I did manage to dig up 2 sticks of PC3 10.8 2 gig sticks, and this thing originally had 1 2 gig stick of PC3 12.8. So even though the speed is a little bit lower, going from 2 gigs to 4 gigs is a huge improvement. And the processor in this thing is an AMD E300, which is a budget PC or budget laptop processor 8 years ago. So going from 12.8 to 10 10.6 is really not going to be much of a difference. Just the capacity doubling alone improved the performance significantly. Now, after all that was cleaned out, I wiped out Windows, started from scratch. The owner said they didn't have anything on there that they wanted to get off of it. They just wanted to have a functioning PC in it, or a functioning laptop. They'd replaced the battery in it so far. So scrounging up that RAM really didn't cost me much of anything. Putting a new hard drive in there, maybe that would speed it up. It's a 5,400 RPM drive. But looking at it, it's a diminishing return. Any E300 processor, being as old as it is and as budget as it is, isn't going to increase a whole heck of a lot. Even going over 4 gigs of RAM isn't going to improve the performance a whole heck of a lot on an 8-year budget laptop. What I was able to do was bring the temperature down by cleaning it out and repasting, because that paste has probably the original stuff that was in there. And as you saw in the video earlier, that mat was completely clogged up. I actually took alcohol and ran it through the veins in the heatsink just to flush any extra stuff that might be cleaning the inside that would act as an insulator. And since I did that, it hasn't gotten over 56 degrees C, which is pretty good. It's not a very hot processor to begin with, but it's not running slow. It's not overheating. It's not completely borking on the RAM. That's about as good as it's going to get for this one. So if you've got things that I can do better in the video, if you've got questions, if you've got comments, if you've got stuff you want me to tear apart, put a comment to the video or drop me a message, and I'd be happy to go over them. I'll keep doing these as I keep doing repairs. And I do more than just laptop repairs, PC repairs. I do random script writing stuff, electronic repairs of all sorts. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to build up a bench so that I can start showing you guys different board repairs from things that people send me, wheelchair controllers, game consoles, random electronics, along with the old tube radios that I've got sitting in my project bench that eventually one day I'll get to, just like the old guy that's got the car in the garage that one day eventually he'll take out on the road. So that's it. Like, subscribe,